Attention sports enthusiasts and loyal Ateneo fans. The peak of excitement may have settled after the UAAP season, but your support for Team Ateneo should never waver. Show your unwavering spirit by proudly donning your favorite Get Blued merchandise. We have amazing news for you. You can now find the most extensive selection of authentic Ateneo gear at both Shopee Mall and Laz Mall. Gear up and embrace the blue and white pride with Get Blued's top-notch apparel. And remember, always buy original. Hi everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Navs Effect podcast. I'm your host Naveen Gani, episode 83, and today we have a returning guest on the pod, Mr. Mason Amos of the Ateneo Blue Eagles. Joining us today, Mason, before we get into anything, first thing I want to ask is how are you doing? Because I was calling that Pinoy Liga game that you guys had yesterday against Guangming College, and I think you might have sprained your knee or something minor, not too major, I hope.
I kind of hyperextended my leg yesterday because my teammate, as you know, landed on my leg.
Oh
It was
man.
very unfortunate, man. So,
Are you in a cast or something, right? Or like on a walking boot or something? Like,
I have to wear an immobilizer type of cast, but I don't have it on right now because I'm in my where I live. So just gotta let it breathe for a bit. So,
because I saw it yesterday as it happened, right? I was calling the game and I'm like, this isn't something you're just like walking off right away. You're actually favoring your knee. And it looked for a second like you might have needed help to get to the bench. Now you kind of got there on your own, but even when you got to the bench, you just look really uncomfortable. Was the pain like really bad the moment it happened?
when it happened, that if we're going on a scale from 1 to 10, this thing was a 10, man.
Jeez.
I felt a little pop and I didn't know what to think of it. It was a lot of shock at the time. So the only thing I could really do was hop to the bench and hope that it wasn't too serious. And as I was told so far, it looks like a hyperextended leg, but I'm going to be seeing the doctor and hopefully I get good news.
So did you have initial fears when it happened? Like, holy crap, this is gonna be like bad. And now that you think about it, it being hyperextended instead of anything major is actually
Mm.
kind of like a blessing in disguise.
It's really a relief because you don't want to go out this early before the season starts, and it's close. The season's really close as well. So I'm really grateful that it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Fingers crossed. So yeah, it's really a blessing.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm guessing you're probably gonna be out for quite some time. I mean, I know you're still going to meet the doctor, but safe assumption, maybe a few weeks, maybe a month or two, maybe more.
You know, having like Coach Tab and stuff, maybe even just a week. Just trying to rehab it as much as I can so I can get back in action because the preseason is really important and I need to
Yep.
be in it to really get with the team, especially with how we've been performing so far.
Yeah, you guys haven't won yet in Phil Oil, if I'm not mistaken. I think you guys are 0-3 in your 3 games. But, to
Mm.
be fair, you faced UPNU in LaSalle, so those are tough challenges right
Yeah.
off the gates. Now, in Pinoy Liga, on the other hand, you guys are actually 3-0, where you haven't been beaten yet, and you actually blew out your last two opponents, JRU and GMC.
Mm.
How's the preseason experience going for you so far? Now, okay, listen, you're playing for Ateneo. You're not going to get like a bunch of minutes right away with how deep the
Mm.
team is. But was a part of you kind of hoping that maybe the shooting would have been a little bit better? Or maybe, do you think you're conditioned enough yet for the college game here?
Well, yeah, my conditioning has actually been improved. So a lot of people don't know this, but last week I ended up with COVID.
Oh, no way.
So yeah, I ended up COVID. So it's not meant to be like a big thing right now because I don't have it anymore. But apparently after the UP game, I tested myself and ended up being positive. And so that happened. And when I tested negative, I got back and then I played LaSalle straight away without
Yep.
any preparation because I'm just going back from COVID, so I couldn't breathe. Like it's not like it's. I'm trying not to make this an excuse, but I got back and I couldn't really breathe at all because of what COVID did to me. And then, as you know, we lost to LaSalle too, so I was pretty disappointed. But at the end of the day, like preseason's meant for you to lose and then have that learning curve, so that when it gets to the actual season, you're prepared. Because again, like we haven't been playing in the tournaments from the start. Like we only just joined the tournaments recently, and a lot of the other teams have been playing to win. Like they've been playing a lot more games than we have. We've been training and trying to improve our just like skills more, like with Coach Tab, the way he wants to coach. So yeah, it's really it's a good experience to have. It's really good to have the preseason tournaments going because it gets everyone together at the same time because it's basketball. Like it's meant to be fun too. So like all these rivalries and stuff, yeah, it's competitive, it's fun, and I'm looking forward to the future ones.
Yeah, and you're right about the preseason. It's really the time of the year where you kind of develop. You look at the mistakes, you look at where you're good at, you look at maybe where you have to improve on, you look at how you stack up against other teams in the league. And this was something Ateneo didn't have last season, ironically. And this season, you guys are full on out there. And the process of how things are going, would you say there are some encouraging signs at the least?
Well, yeah, like with how we've been playing in Pino Liga at the moment, our most recent games, we've shown that we can really put the ball in the basket when we want to. Like Joe Barca, he's getting on the board. He's starting to turn into a beast down low. Like I can see, like I'm seeing a bit of Ange, if I'm honest. Like I know it's a fast stretch, but still, like I'm seeing a bit of Ange in him, like the way he blocks shots, the way he's like dominant inside, and that's really what we need as a presence like that because losing Ange, that's a big shoes to fill. So, and like wing players, like our wings and our guards, because they're like Philams and stuff. So, being new to the Philippines, the physicality, like all guards need to become more physical because, as you said, like UP, Salle, they all got guards that can pressure. And as we've seen in the first couple of games, we've struggled against pressure, and physicality is really taking its toll on us.
Yeah, for sure. And that's an area that I think you guys will get better at as the rest of the games go by. And you have quite a good number of shooters in the lineup. Like LeBron was on fire yesterday, and Ian Espinosa can really get hot from deep as well. Do you think the team chemistry is coming along quite well too? I mean, I know that most of you weren't practicing for about 3 weeks because of the examinations. Now that you guys are on summer break, or rather a break after the school year. At least now you kind of can ramp it up a little bit. Coach Tab told me that you're doing twice a days now, one at like 6 in the morning, one in the afternoon, and sometimes you have games. So what's the everyday routine looking like, and how's the team chemistry coming along?
So with the everyday routine, so yeah, 6 a.m. weights. We're in the gym early in the morning, get up at 5 in the morning, go to practice. And then after that, we have a team breakfast, whatever we need to do. And then in the afternoon, so we dress later, we've got training from 5:30 till 9:30. So like,
Oh, wow.
yeah, so 4 hour trainings. We got viewing. So like we do everything that every other school would be doing too. But yeah, like for us, in order for us to get where we want to be, we have to go through this type of stuff because that we're strong believers in hard work. And if we don't work hard, we're not gonna get that goal.
From an outsider's perspective, it's easy to assume stuff like, okay, if you're gonna play for a Coach Tab Baldwin team, number one, you're playing for championships, and then it kind of like everything falls down from there, right? So that means you gotta be training 6, 7 hours a day, including film viewing, which is what you guys are doing now. You gotta be tough. You gotta be able to play through injury. You gotta be able to play hurt sometimes. You gotta be able to take some of the 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 heated verbal moments from the coaching staff when they're trying to get you to do the right things. And Coach Tab, he is as I don't even know if old school is the right word, but it feels fitting as old school as it gets when it comes to toughness and mental fortitude. But give me like specific ways that just makes the Ateneo training system under Coach Tab stand out that people from outside will just never really realize at first glance.
Oh, well, first of all, when he teaches us to work on individual skills rather than team play and like system work. Usually everyone's all about the systems when it comes to Coach Tab, like that's what they hear and all that. But in reality, like he improves us individually first because that's the most important thing. Because if you're not the best individual you can be in a team system, then the team system doesn't work.
Right.
So that's the first thing. Really just getting better individually, like skills wise. So he'd make us do it. Like he'd pick out our individual weaknesses and he would work on them at training. So personally for me, and I agree with what he makes me do is the defensive side. So denying all that type of stuff. And it's really shown in the games. Like I'm moving my feet a lot better than I was before.
Yeah, bro,
Um,
you're out there hedging and recovering, and I don't think
yeah,
I saw
like
you do that before. Yeah.
and my rebounding's gone through the roof because being in the gym, you of course you're gonna lose a lot of weight with how much training you've been doing. but you're also gaining a lot of muscle mass, which is good. So like the physicality factor comes into play when you're in the gym a lot. So it's really helping our team out the way he's bringing us all together. At Ateneo, it's always been a strong culture, even from when the days with Matt Nieto, the Nieto twins, EK, like since then, like all those players, because they deserve the credit. We need to live up to what their standards are. And that's how we look at it at Ateneo.
Attention all busy bees and condo dwellers. Are you struggling to keep up with your cleaning chores? Introducing the Cleaning Coach, your ultimate solution for all your cleaning needs. They are not just your ordinary cleaning service, they are your multi-service cleaning experts ready to tackle any cleaning challenge that comes our way. From general cleaning to specialized services like mattress and sofa deep cleaning, aircon cleaning, car cleaning, and so much more, the Cleaning Coach has got you covered. They take pride in delivering trustworthy, reliable, and spotless cleaning results every time. We understand that condo living can be fast-paced, leaving you with limited time to handle your cleaning tasks. That's where the Cleaning Coach comes in. Let the Cleaning Coach take care of your cleaning woes while you focus on the things that matter most to you. Sit back, relax, and let their team of skilled professionals work their magic to create a pristine living space for you. But wait, there's more. As a special offer for all you podcast listeners out there, we have an exclusive deal just for you. Mention the letters T and E when confirming your appointment through chat and get a fantastic 5% off on your first booking. It's our way of saying thank you for choosing the Cleaning Coach. Booking with them is a breeze. You can reach them through their social media platforms at The Cleaning Coach Rocks on Instagram or Facebook. Alternatively, you can give them a call at 0917-531-7769 or shoot them an email at thecleaningcoach@yahoo.com. Their friendly team will guide you through the booking process, answering any questions you may have. Remember, the rates are determined by the services rendered and the total size of the area or item to be cleaned. They offer transparent pricing, ensuring that you receive the best value for your money. Don't let cleaning stress you out any longer. Let the Cleaning Coach be your go-to cleaning partner. Sit back, relax, and enjoy the pristine environment we create just for you. Book with them today and experience the ultimate cleaning transformation. Are there ever times though where, let's say you've trained like 12 straight days, right? And you've only had like one break in between, and you're training 5-6 hours a day, your body's just exhausted. Mentally, you're just kind of drained and you kind of just want to take a day off. How do you kind of push through that and tell yourself, no, I gotta get to the gym, other from the fact that Coach Stab's gonna not be too happy about it?
Well, it's really self-discipline. Like we went to a phase with our team where a lot of us didn't like training because it was too much. So like, and it became a problem because it started translating into the way we played in the preseason. Like our first couple of games, like tune-ups, for example, before season tournament started, we didn't play very well because one, we were very complacent. Two, we weren't working as hard as we were meant to be. And then so really like we turned Coach Tab and the coaching staff really helped turn us around and change our mindsets, because for us to be successful, we have to be disciplined in everything we do, no matter how tiring it may be, all that type of stuff. Because at the end of the day, like it's only making you better if you put in the work. Because if you don't, then you don't really see dramatic improvements.
Yeah, when you guys play defense, the amount of ball pressure and up on your face pressure that you guys just make your opponents go through, it looks like living hell for the opposition. Do you think that kind of philosophy where you're just making every single thing difficult for the opponent to, to perform, or whether that's a scheme or a move or a pass or even just a rebound, do you think that speaks to the overall philosophy of what this team is about? You guys just want to be up in the face of your opposition and you just kind of want them to know, hey, we are going to make life hell for you.
Well, of course, we want to get them out of the like regular offense. We don't want them to come down the court and get easy buckets, because without the defense, like the way that we play defense is disrupting every single offensive set. We're going to disrupt, no matter when it's coming down the court, pressuring the ball, trapping, denying. It's really just to make the life hard for the opponent, because we know that in the UAAP, all the other teams, their offense is crazy. Like their talent in the other teams. Like I'm gonna give credits to them because they got guys that can score the damn ball. So like UST, they got Caballero. Even if UST, like as a team, they're not as big and strong, they can be physical. Like they can be physical. They've got some scorers. Same with UP. Like UP, all around talented team. I got a lot of my under 18s teammates in that team, so I know them very well. Francis, he's a good player. DLSU, they've got a team full of hardworking players that they like you saw the Phillips brothers, they can get rebounds.
I saw Mike
You got
dunking on
Evan,
everyone. Yeah, Mike was trying to dunk on everyone.
like I've seen enough of him, like because I've seen him at Gilas as well. So you got Evan Nelly who's been going crazy, doing his thing. But with my team, like I have confidence in my teammates, Forsky, Kai, Joe. So like everyone in my team really, because I know that with how hard they work, they're gonna get there. Like they're going to get there because first of all, like Forsky and stuff, they've got experience, but there's a lot of guys in our teams that haven't experienced the UAP before because we're all new to the game, like here. Even me, like I played Gilas, but I have not played on a UAP court yet. So it's a completely different style of game. And a lot of people tend to like say that because I was in Gilas, it's got to be the same way that it's in UAP.
Yeah,
But
it's
at
not.
the end of the day, like defense in the UAP is way tougher if I'm being honest, because they play pressure defense full court and you don't get open at all. So it's really tactics in the UAP. That's the way you win games is tactics and strategies.
You mean like defensive, offensive schemes, preparation, sets and whatnot, or tactics more of like mental tactics to kind of get the opposition out of their game?
Well, mental, because ball pressure alone, like physical ball pressure alone is already a mental tactic that gets people out of the game.
Yep.
So like even that, but on top of that, like you said before, like the schemes and stuff is a big part of it too. Because if you don't scheme certain players, they may give you 40. Like Jerome Lastimosa, if you let him ISO, that's his game. If you have Michael Phillips, you don't box him out, that's game over with the rebound. So it's really just a matter of how, and on the day, like you got to be mentally prepared, because if you're not mentally prepared and one little slip and that game could fall away no matter who it is.
What are some of the weirdest tactics players have tried to pull out on the court in the preseason games you've played so far? Because we know that these guys like to get in anyone's head a little bit. You maybe try to get you out of your mojo, throw you out of your rhythm, get you complaining to the refs too much, and get you out of the game plan. So, what's the weirdest like tactic you've experienced so far in college basketball?
Well, personally, like against UP, Cabalanga kind of gave me a little shot when I was setting a screen. I expect these things because it's a welcome to the league kind of moment type of thing. I can handle that type of stuff, so like it's really it's a wake up call. Obviously, like because we lost to LaSalle and UP and NU, it's really a wake up call for us. Like it's really making us flip the switch because
Did
we
Terrence
don't want to lose,
Forte
man.
kind of like trash talk you a little bit too? Because I saw you guys talking a little bit in that UP Ateneo game, and he did drop a few 3-pointers.
Yeah. Yeah. So he hit a three in my face and then he said something. I didn't really hear what he said, but I knew he said something. So in the back of my head, it will stick with me. So,
Oh, you're keeping a mental note, kind of like Jimmy Butler, like for the future, right?
well, the thing is like, I feel like karma is a real thing.
Oh, okay, okay.
But all I'm going to say is like, because I'm not getting too far ahead of myself, but all I'm going to say is like, I'm not a man to talk trash because at the end of the day, it's just how the game speaks. Like that's all I can say.
But you're keeping a mental note for the future. Maybe just like stored in the back of your head a
Well, I
little bit.
mean, I'm a competitive person, so it's always there. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, like being humble is the best way to go about it because as you can see, like being humble gets you places.
Yep.
Arrogance is no matter if it like just because it's basketball and it's competitive, arrogance won't get you far because it's really hard to really fit in anyone's team if you got that kind of attitude. Like no one wants to be around an arrogant person. You know what I mean, like that.
LaSalle fans and Ateneo supporters, the crown is back in Taft. Now is the best time to secure the most incredible DLSU merchandise in the market to celebrate the Lady Spikers title conquest of Season 85. Green-Blooded Championship t-shirt is something you do not want to miss out on. It comes in 3 different colors with the name of each champion spiker on the back, names that will be remembered forever. What better way to celebrate this unforgettable season? So visit Green-Blooded on Shopee now and show off your Ateneo spirit.
You mentioned 3 teams like UP, LaSalle, and you, and all those 3 teams beat you guys in Phil Oil. And now again, some degree, you guys aren't really complete. Gab Gomez didn't play all games. Chris Kuhn is still recovering from his shoulder injury. And of course, Coach Tab missed that game against UP as well. But these are the three teams, I think, along with you guys, these four teams, Ateneo, NU, UP, LaSalle, are my early picks to like make the Final Four. Like, if you made me pick right now, just because of the talent, the veteran experience, the coaching, whatnot, having gone up against those three very good teams, what would you say are your main takeaways that make them quite a challenge?
LaSalle's biggest thing was the rebounding. They killed us in offensive rebounding. Even though we actually got a lot of offensive rebounds against them too, like no matter how hard you try and box them out, they always find a way to get the ball. And like even with El Abadam, I boxed him out. He still ended up getting the ball. So it was really like it was really a wake up call again. Like we know where we have to be now in order to compete against these teams. Because where we were like those couple of games, we weren't in the right mindset either. Like we came into the game knowing that they were going to come at us because we know that we weren't prepared. Because we also didn't have training, of course, but it's not an excuse because we know that mentally it's just a mental thing. It's not as it's not really a physical thing. It's more mental. If you approach the game thinking that you can hang with these guys, then you can play. Like it's really just a mental thing.
Right. So how about UP? You said LaSalle, the rebounding stood out to you. UP and NU, anything that kind of you're putting down there in the whiteboard for the next game, cannot let them do this.
UP transition offense. You cannot get them in transition. Because once they get up and
those
running,
lineups with LeBron at the 5 is pretty deadly, I gotta say, because he's tall enough to like grab rebounds and get going, right?
yeah. So like when they get out on the open floor, especially with Cabalonga at the point, or even Gonzalez and stuff like that, even Fortea, because when they push the ball, they don't stop running. Even Diouf, he rim runs like 100 miles an hour. Like this guy doesn't stop running. So like really stopping them in defensive transition, because if they get running in the transition, they're not going to stop. They're going to keep fighting. They're going to keep kicking out, shoot the ball, find the rim runner, like all that type of stuff. With NU, I wasn't at the game to see it, but I was watching online. NU's just physical, man. Like physical, and Kian Baklan, I don't know how to pronounce it, but Kian Baklan, he's tough, man. Really just you got to stop the main guys when it comes to NU. I think that's the key to the game, because once they get going, it's really hard to get past it.
Yeah, I have a quick Kian story. Before his first Pinoy Liga game, I went up to him and I'm like, "Hey, Kian, so what nickname do you want?" And he's like, "I'm good with KB." I'm like Kobe Bryant, KB, and he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "You gotta be like seriously confident to say that you want a nickname associated with Kobe Bryant." And you know what? Kian Baklan plays like it. He's pick and roll mastery for college basketball players. Really impressive. And that pull up of his, you would know this as someone with a good pull up too. You know when you see someone with a pull up game that's really good, and you're like, oh, that's a good looking shot.
Well, even with Evan Nelly, like when I saw it, and like when we played against him, and he wouldn't miss those mid ranges, I was like, yeah, these guys can play. Like there's a lot of people in the league that people underappreciate. Even if they're like let's say if they're not in the big teams, like even with UST and stuff like that, they got some players that can play, and that's why we have the, like for me personally, I have the utmost respect for every opponent we face, because no matter what the rivalry is, I don't care if it's us versus LaSalle. I'm still gonna respect them, because at the end of the day, like they're just as good as we are. Like we cannot think that we're better than anyone until we play and like show that we can actually compete.
Yeah, for sure. Now, there's something I wanted to bring up to you. You got a brother, CJ Amos, who is, I think, about to enter his final 2 or 1 year in high school, right? Before he moves on to college. So, what's the future looking like for your little bro? Is he going to try to play in Australia, or is he thinking of maybe coming out here as well?
Well, we haven't really had the full conversation yet, but he's kind of hinted that he might want to come to the Philippines for college.
Ateneo too, or that's still open to discussion?
Well, Ateneo is obviously the considered choice that he's thought about because I'm here. But at the same time, like at the end of the day, I would support whatever decision he makes. So like whatever college he wants to go to. But of course, like I'll convince him to try to come to Ateneo because one big fight, man. Like so, yeah. So that's the thing. He's still in high school right now. He's doing really well. He's playing against grown men there. So he's playing in a league where some NBL players are playing, and he's still 16, so he's about 6'2" now, so he's still growing. I got a younger brother too, my youngest one. His name's Jordan. He's about 6 foot and he's 15. So he's turning 15 this year. So he's growing too. He might be even taller than me. So I'm not sure. Like right now, as of now, I'm not sure where CJ stands with his decision, but he's still going to finish high school in Australia first.
Yeah, if the Green Archers have the Phillips brothers and the Blue Eagles need to have the Amos brothers, right? Just make it a whole brotherly tradition, which we seem to have a lot in the UAP. Paranada Bros, Ildefonso Bros. Now look, your journey to get to Ateneo, of course, you were highly recruited, Gila's team, but your journey to get to Ateneo to eventually commit and join Ateneo, even after the initial verbal commitment, it wasn't quite linear, wasn't it? There were maybe some moments there where you really had to reflect, decide where you wanted to go, maybe consider your options a second or a third time, and ultimately land on the choice to go to become a Blue Eagle. So can you maybe just take us through that whole process and how that happened?
Oh, well, of course, like with the recruitment, there's always recruitment war. It's just a thing nowadays. I know like a lot of people have a hard time deciding, but for me, it was more a loyalty thing to my school, because I had a recent stint with, of course, the high school and junior high when I was in Philippines in 2019. So because I was there because I was trialing for the under-16s Gilas
Mm-hmm.
team with Coach Sandy as the coach. So really, with the recruitment, I was really just considering Ateneo the most because one, Coach Tab was the first one to reach out to me, besides Coach Reggie Varilia from the high school team. So Coach Tab was the one that really reached out to me and really wanted to recruit me because he saw potential in me, and he really wanted to make sure that I would be under his belt. So like UP, of course, UP, they try to recruit me as well in the South. But at the end of the day, like, no matter where I was going, I know that there's no bad option. Like, they're all good options. And so I was really blessed with that. But of course, everything that I was doing was the Atenean way, you know what I mean? Like, I've always
Yeah.
been an Atenean. So, like, win or lose, like, that was the school I was going to choose. You see what I did there?
I see what you did there. Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, that was really my reasons.
Hey, good stuff, man. The Ateneo fans are just gonna absolutely love you, and I think that's because you've really bought into the culture. And one of the things I realized about basketball players is there are basketball players who love to play the game, but then there are basketball players who love to play the game, but also just love being in that whole culture and environment and the media aspect of it and the fan aspect of it and the Twitter aspect of it. Somewhere I know you're quite active. I know you like lurking on Twitter every now and then, especially during the UAP games. Just a backstory too. I do have a sports group chat on Facebook called Sports CCN, which Mason was kind enough to join. And Mason likes giving his thoughts about the NBA finals as well, some of the
Yeah.
off-season stuff. So is that something that you've just always enjoyed too, Mason? Aside from actually playing the game on the court, you've just enjoyed the whole culture of being a basketball fan, watching the
Oh,
games,
well,
watching other players. Yeah.
like I'm a basketball fanatic. Like I'd be like with the NBA, I've been I analyze stats, I do all that type of stuff. I find it really interesting actually. So like just getting involved with the game I love, it's great. So being around the game, you really tend to find your ways and like the social media stuff. Like I don't look at the negativity, I just look at all the positives that I see. Like when I see someone doing well, I'm gonna give them props for it because it's good to give back to people that are actually doing well.
Yep.
Like to spread the positivity. Like that's why I always say, like, always have faith and never doubt. Because if you start doubting yourself, then where's that going to get you? Like you're going to just get your mindset. Like I always think of growth mindset because that's what I learned in high school. Always having a growth mindset because no matter what happens, like if you keep pushing through, you're eventually going to get somewhere. And like for me personally, like I've seen it as like, well, I've been kind of blessed with what I've been given so far. Like being able to suit up for Gilas, win a SEA Games gold medal, like that type of stuff. And like it's crazy to think about because I haven't even played UAP yet, and not a lot of people get to experience these things. And it's kind of hard to talk about because again, like I was emotional after that first stint with Gilas in the
Yep.
window because things like this don't come very often.
Yeah, man, you are wise beyond your years. That's something that's always impressed me about you. I am very curious though. Is there a move by another player in the UAP or NCAA college basketball that you maybe saw watching a game on TV or on your computer phone, and you're like, hey, you know what? That's a good move. I think I need to try that move on the court. And which player was that?
Oh man, it was actually in the NCAA. So,
Oh,
Renzo Bondo did this crossover,
okay.
and I ever since then, like even with under 18s Gilas at that tournament I ran, I was trying it a couple of times and it worked. So he did like a crossover to a step back, and he hit a three, and I was like, I got to try that move. And so, because I was watching the Tran play when Renzo Bondo was playing, so I wasn't really UAP, but I still watch a lot of UAP. It's really but I saw this one game where he just been nailed. He did this he did this crossover step back, hit a three, and I was like, oh, I should try this
Yep.
because if I get a pick and pop and I get an opportunity to ISO my player, getting him a crossover step back, hit a three, it's really effective. So really just picking out the little things. With Ange, I look at the way he seals his man.
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Those early seals
like
in transition.
yeah,
Yep. Yep.
like it's really like sealing's a big part of the UAP, especially with the imports. Like you got to be able to know how to seal everyone, like even if it's the import guarding you. Otherwise, you're really not going to get the ball inside because the lane's always packed.
And those guards
So,
don't like passing the ball sometimes to the big man. We can mention that every now and
uh,
then.
well, I mean, yeah, of course, but at the same time, like it's just the game in the Philippines. Guards do end up being ball dominant in the Philippines.
Yep,
It's
yep.
really the way it is. Bigs can get frustrated here, but luckily, like I'm a guy that has patience. I trust my teammates, so whatever play they make is the right play to me.
What would happen? Let's have a hypothetical situation here. What would happen if you went to Coach Tab, fourth quarter of a UAP game, and you're like, "Hey, Coach Tab, I think you should give me the ball and tell everyone to get out of the way." How do you think he would respond? Do you think he'd actually appreciate you for wanting to take that challenge?
He would appreciate it, but knowing Coach Tab, it's not going to happen because for one, I trust Coach Tab's system, and I trust that the right shot will come with whatever play he draws up.
Mm-mm.
So for me, I'm more of an unselfish player. So like if the game's on the line and I see someone open, I'm gonna pass that
Yep.
because it's the right play at the end of the day. Like I'm I like playing for the team, not for myself. Because you playing for yourself does not win you games. And it's been seen in the past, like even in the NBA, one man teams don't win. Like it's team sport for a reason. And that's why I see even with Denver and the Heat, look at them. They're the two best teams in the NBA
Yep.
teams because again, like Denver, Heat were an 8 seed, but they worked as a team and that beat the individuals that they faced. Like Tatum and Brown, they're the only they were trying to score against the defense and they didn't play that well. You have Jokic, who of course one of the best team players in the world, best playmakers. Like as a big, like he's probably the best passer in the world as a center. So with the Denver Nuggets, the way they space the floor, like that's how a team is meant to play.
Yep.
So systematic. Because if it's not systematic, it's not really basketball to me.
Yep, yep. You know, Jokic does this thing with his eyes too, where he kind of fools his man to thinking he's looking elsewhere, and then the pass just goes the total other way. And it's like little things like that, and you see it happen, and you're like, God damn, that is almost innate, something you just need to have naturally. One of my favorite sayings now that I came up with recently was when in doubt, make the extra pass. And I've seen you do that
Yeah,
a lot in Pinoy Liga and Philol. You have a shot at the 3-pointer, but rather than taking that first looking 3-pointer, you get it back out there to the corner, and then suddenly Espinosa or LeBron has a better looking 3-pointer and it goes in. Now, we've talked a lot about ball though, and I know you're a man who has a lot of interests, a lot of hobbies, passions. So what are some of the other areas that you've kind of maybe invested your time in and you're looking at as whether that's a hobby or a side gig or a side passion, something you're pursuing outside of the game, also to just kind of take your mind off basketball, considering it's there all the time.
well, with the academic side for Ateneo, I'm really looking into like the course I'm doing right now is interdisciplinary studies that I'm going to be going into for
Mm-mm.
first semester coming up in August. So really just looking at what my course has to offer, like just studying everything, even the game, like even with basketball, studying my game footage, picking out the little things that I need to improve on, because like everyone's got something to improve on. No one's perfect. And that's something that we got to understand, because the standard is perfection, but perfection isn't the reality, because no one's perfect. Even LeBron's not perfect. MJ's not perfect. Like everyone's got flaws, everyone's got weaknesses. But that's the thing. If you bring all those strengths together that everyone has, it can be a problem. Like for me, obviously I got hobbies off the court too. Play some video games sometimes with my mates, and like all my teammates too. Sometimes watching movies, like just binge watching stuff, like all that type of stuff.
What were you watching recently, or what's on your Netflix go to recently?
At the moment, well, I watch a lot of Brooklyn Nine-Nine, so that's
Okay.
like, yeah.
Okay.
So I've been watching a lot of Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So all the old shows, because I find them like they're really good shows.
Have you tried Friends yet? Friends or How I Met Your Mother,
I've
those other
watched
sitcoms?
I've watched a couple episodes of Friends, but then I got kind of bored of it because it was just
Wow.
like, if I'm being honest, like I got kind of bored of it because
Was it
it
too
wasn't
old
like
school for you?
too old school in my opinion, because of course my generation, like younger, and like because my generation watches more movies, if anything, like the new movies that come out. Like you watch Marvel, like because I'm a big Marvel and DC fan.
Okay,
Like
yeah.
me, like sometimes I collect what do you call it? I collect figures and stuff. Because my favorite superhero has to be from Marvel. My favorite superhero has to be the Hulk. I love the Hulk. And then when it comes to DC, it's Superman. So I mean, like, I've always been a fan of Avengers and stuff like that, because
Yes,
yeah, as
sir.
a kid, like growing up, that's what I watched.
Has Kai gotten you into Star Wars yet too? Because I know Kai is a big Star Wars guy.
Yeah, he was speaking to me the other day about it, and I was like, yeah, the Mandalorian's tough, Darth Vader's
Ooh,
tough, because we all the boys at Ateneo, we all collect. So we all get like these Funko Pops of like the Marvels and
nice.
stuff.
Yes,
So they're really
sir.
nice. I've actually got an Ateneo Blue Eagle Funko Pop as well.
Nice, nice. You
So
know,
like,
wait, do you like Grogu, Baby Yoda a lot? I'm sure you do, right?
yeah, he's tough. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
tough. Yeah.
That's a great show. Have you finished all Star Wars movies though? The original trilogy, whatnot?
Well, I've watched The Last Jedi. I've nearly watched all of them actually. I think there's only one I haven't watched. I can't remember what it was. But even Harry Potter, I've watched nearly all the Harry Potter movies as well.
I'm loving this. I'm love seeing like the
Yeah.
geeky, dorky side of Mason, man.
Hey
That's
man,
awesome. I'm all about that.
people when people see me, the stereotype is, oh, I don't do all this type of stuff.
Yeah.
But I do what everyone else does, is watch movies and all that type of stuff.
Right, right. So
Like
would you be a Gryffindor, Slytherin, Hufflepuff, or Ravenclaw? Now you can't. Ravenclaw would be the easy answer because Blue Eagle, it's so similar, right? But I think you're more of a. Now don't
I'm
take this the
actually
wrong. Don't take this the wrong way, but I think you're a Hufflepuff because I think you're the loyal type of guy.
personally, I think I'm a Hufflepuff, if I'm being honest. Like personally, because obviously, like in terms of the team stuff, I liked Gryffindor, but Hufflepuff is good. Slytherin is definitely not the way I want to go, but it is what it is. But Harry Potter, yeah, I used to read the books too, Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, all that type of stuff. Like in high school, that I was really like into the books with those type of books. I
So
was a big fan of Roald Dahl as well.
who's your favorite character in Harry Potter?
Harry Potter, it's Harry Potter, man.
Harry
Like,
Potter himself?
yeah.
Okay. I was always a serious black kind of guy.
Mm,
I like serious. See, that was still my favorite book of all. Episode
mm.
number 3, Prisoner of Azkaban. How about you? You have a favorite from the 7 books?
I'd say the Philosopher's Stone, the very first book.
The first one. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what gets you into it for sure. Definitely, hey man, you need to go on a Harry Potter marathon soon and maybe like live stream the
Oh
whole
man.
process and just do like
Yeah.
reactions. Or we need to see like videos of you playing with a wand and like casting spells because I know that video exists somewhere out there in the world. I'm gonna try to unearth that from you. Or maybe
Oh
you.
man.
Okay, would you be a Sith or a Jedi? Because I think I asked Kai this question. I think he said Jedi, if I'm not mistaken, in this podcast.
Everyone wants to be a Jedi, man. You got a lightsaber. The Force is with you, man. Like,
I would choose being a Sith, bro. Straight up. I just want the nickname Darth Navs or something like that, you
Don't
know?
know.
Or for you, it could be like Darth Amos. I mean, that kind of
Don't
that's
Amos.
yeah, or you gotta say that's good. All right, so now we are gonna get to some mailbag questions. The mailbag segment of the day is presented by one of our new sponsors on the podcast, The Cleaning Coach, one of the best home and office cleaning services out there. Whether you want to clean your cars, your condominiums, interior deep cleaning, disinfection, upholstery, all of that at a reasonable price. Do check them out. So let's get to the mailbag question here from Mason. This first question is from a friend of the show, Simon, who wants to know, just let me find this here. Okay, Mason, which big man, local or foreign, had a distinct impact on your style of play?
Are you looking for a betting platform with zero restrictions and where you can buy crypto using PHP directly? Look no further than DexWin. The platform is designed to make it easy for you to buy and sell your favorite cryptocurrencies using Philippine pesos with low fees and a user-friendly interface. But that's not all. DexWin also offers you the opportunity to bet on your favorite NBA games and superstars in the playoffs and mix and match parlays to win big. Whether you're a seasoned sports bettor or just starting out, they have everything you need to make the most of your wagers. And with their instant withdrawals, you can quickly and easily get your money when you need it. When you're withdrawing your winnings from sports betting, they make it fast and easy. So what are you waiting for? Join DexWin today and start taking advantage of all the benefits they have to offer.
Big man. If I'm being honest, like in the NBA, if we're talking, I would tell you NBA as well.
Yeah, anywhere in the world, I would say.
Kevin Love.
Kevin Love, okay, really? Because of the
Kevin
shooting,
Love. Yeah. Kevin Love, and then local is RDO. So of course it's RDO. So when I was watching Gilas growing up, RDO was playing and he was the stretch four. And I looked, because in Australia that's what I was as well. So I really looked up to him. He's a great shooter. He was very physical too. I saw the way he threw those elbows. But with Kevin Love, the way he plays, he's very smart and he's very unselfish, and that's the way I like to play. I'm really a guy that likes to pass the ball. Like sometimes I may not get assists, but making the extra pass is always better than taking like a good shot can turn to a greater shot, like you were saying before.
For sure.
So like, yeah, like those are the two that stood out to me the most in terms of the way I play. But like, if I'm being honest, like the players that I idolize the most, of course, are my favorite players in the NBA, like Giannis, because of the way he works, his loyalty to the game, the loyalty to his team.
Yep.
I really idolize Damian Lillard as well. As bad as his team is,
Yep, he's loyal, definitely loyal.
like the way he approaches the game is really respectable, and that's why no one disrespects him, because he's crazy. Like you don't want to get on his bad side because he'll give you 60. And two, like, oh man, like the loyalty part is a big thing for me. I'm really a loyal guy to, especially my school now. Like I really love Ateneo. It's a great school. Basketball is one thing, but the education and the people that support you here it's amazing.
Great answer. Now let's get to the next one here. This next question is from Francis, from Fran Lu from our chat. Fran wants to know, who are your teammates in Ateneo that tested your toughness once you got there?
Oh, definitely Sean Katevis.
Really?
Yeah, we call him the gym rat because he likes drinking protein. He drinks protein like 24 hours a day. He's always in the gym. But yeah, he's a good friend of mine. He's our captain. He's a good leader. We all try to follow his footsteps when it comes to physique, because this guy's been in the gym since the pandemic happened, and look what it turned out. Like he turned out to be a monster. So like even his defense, he's the one that taught me how to pick up on defense, because he's our best defender in our team. Obviously, the way he plays defense full court on the best players on the other team gives him a pretty hard time. Like the way he can play defense is crazy. To think that he barely played last season is crazy to me, because he's showing now that he really has it in him. Like even though like his offense it needs some work, his defense is. It really
Right
makes
there.
up for everything. Like it's crazy. So yeah, he's the guy that really pushed me when I got to Ateneo, and it helped me in the long run.
Right. And the fact that he was thrown in the fire like in game 2 of the finals and just absolutely shined, I think goes to show the character that Sean Katevis has. Okay, last question. This one's from Gold. He wants to know, simply, Mason, do you kind of already envision what your career might be like after the UAAP? Like, we know you've got plans to win a championship with Ateneo and all that, but like, is there a certain image of how you want your post UAAP career to unfold?
Post UAP, obviously, like the main goal for every basketball player in the UAP, if they want to, is to play professionally.
Mm-mm.
So like going abroad or staying in the Philippines, the PBA is a good league. I know there's a lot of talk saying PBA isn't like the other leagues like Japan and stuff, but at the end of the day, like I know there's money in the other leagues, but the PBA at heart is like it's your home. Like you're in the Philippines, you're a Filipino. Like you want to represent the country. Like if you're representing the country, you take pride in playing in the PBA too. Like if you're in Japan, it's a lot of money. So like there's a lot of considerations besides money that play a factor in it because one, you want to be able to play basketball at a place you're comfortable in. Wealth is a thing, but it's really where you're comfortable. It's really where you think you can grow as a player too. Because of course you want to have the right coaching staff, the right teammates that will push you as well. So that's why I also picked up Ateneo because they have a group of guys that have been there, that have experience, and I really wanted to learn from them too. So all the veterans, even Kai Balunga, I learned a lot from him too, even though he's only been there for 1 year. Joe Abbas has been there for he's been there for a while because he couldn't play because Ange was there. But he, even from Forsky, the way he plays, it's crazy. Like the way he can read the game. So like I've got all praises for my teammates. And yeah, but for the future, whatever happens, happens. And right now I'm just focusing on what I got to do with Ateneo.
Fantastic. Hey, Mason Amos, I just want to thank you so much for joining me in this podcast. It's always a pleasure to have you on. You know, you're always welcome here. And it's just great to talk about basketball and life with you. And hey, thanks a lot for making this happen with me, buddy. And I hope you recover as soon as possible. It's going to be so exciting to see you back on the court.
Hey, I appreciate it, man. I'll see you soon.
For sure.